Hello and welcome to another StripyCubing video. Today I thought I'd just, I got a comment ages and ages ago, like literally months ago. Obviously I haven't been making videos for a while, but it's just sort of about F2L and where to start off really. I thought I'd probably go through what I used in order to get into Speedcubing. So I first saw my cube when I was like 11, 12 years old, so that's quite a long time ago now. I used a very old tutorial. I will link them in the description. They're so old that they had to be split into 2 or 3 parts, I think. They're by a guy called Dan Brown. The video is like nearly 10 years old now, so it's a really old YouTube video. But he had nice, for the time, very clear instructions. There are better tutorials out there, so if you're looking just to be able to solve a cube, I'd just type how to solve a Rubik's Cube in and there are loads and loads of tutorials out there. You can probably learn within half an hour. So that was it. I just learnt standard beginner's method from Dan Brown, and it was only about a year and a half ago, just after my January exams last year. I was bored and thought, I want to be able to solve the cube faster. So I just did a quick Google search. I had 2 weeks to kill, and found, I think it's pronounced Bad Mephisto. I'll link the website in the description. Really useful resource. He has a bunch of videos that were filmed years and years ago about how to solve the cube and the advanced methods. I use CFOP obviously, or 2-look CFOP. There are lots of nice PDFs to print out. I've got the full PLL algorithms on my wall, nicely clearly done. I've barely learned any of them. There's lots and lots of nice resources on that site. I will link you to the 2-look pages in particular. And what I did to learn how to solve it quickly, I had beginner's method in my head and first learnt PLL, then I learned OLL, or the 2-look algs. So 2-look PLL, then 2-look OLL, then I learned how to do cross and F2L. And F2L is the hardest thing. I would get learning the 2-look algs out of the way first, and work your way backwards, because you can always you can therefore always solve the cube using at least a partial Speedcubing method. Because of course you're using those algorithms all the time and you're practicing those, your awareness of how the cube works will get into your head, and it will probably, I certainly found, it made learning F2L, which I haven't fully learned F2L at all, it makes learning its concepts easier to understand. You understand how pieces move around the cube. I'll link you to the 2-look OLL and PLL algs. I'll link you to the beginner's method Dan Brown videos, but I'll see if I can give you some examples of basically your 3 basic F2L cases, and from there, to my mind, I'd say learn intuitively first, and then definitely learn some easy algs that make it easier to solve a piece, because they will be quicker. I'd say learn intuitive first, because you understand how the cube works and you therefore can always improvise, but you should also then be learning some algorithms, particularly for easy or recognisable cases. But I'll just go through the really basic 3 cases that you will come across with F2L. Right, so I've sort of moved the camera angle around a little bit just to get more of this in frame. So I've just done a standard hand scramble with this. There's nothing special about this particular scramble. Obviously your first problem is to try and solve the cross. First of all, memorising the orientation of the cube comes in handy. If you're keeping yellow at the top, which I think most beginner CFOP people will be doing, I had a rule that even if it made the solve more difficult or more awkward, when I was just learning the clockwise colour scheme, I just always kept blue in front. So I knew that if blue was in front, I therefore always had red at the right and orange on the left. So obviously you can see here, this is matched up, this isn't matched up, but you've got two opposite pairs here. So you could do something like a D, insert that, and by doing that you know that your green pair has come up here. Do an R2, and you know that your cross is. That cross is something you're just going to have to work on. Fiddle about with the cube, don't time yourself. I'd say when you're learning to do, you know, at any level, learning algorithms, learning F2L, don't time yourself. So your three basic cases are as follows. Right, you have orange and blue, and you have the orange and blue corner piece here and the orange and blue edge piece here. Now when you see on the top you have an orange and a blue, so they're opposites, or they're different. I like to sort of call it I think of it more like I think of it like a catapult, where you can line the corner up with where it needs to go, and then just, and it will insert. You need to make sure that your opposite, your edge piece rather, is on the opposite side, so it can just meet up there. Your second kind of case is like such. So you have this green red piece, corner piece, and the edge piece. If you notice, they're the same colour on top. They need to be inserted here. So if you did this, obviously this is in the wrong slot, it would end up being inserted wrong. So what you do is you can pull it back, and it's okay because this slot is empty. So this is rubbish in here. There's nothing in here. So it's okay to mess this up. You can pull it back, and you've paired it up, and then you can do a U2 and insert it in the back, like so. This piece is already lined up for us, which is nice. Sometimes that will happen, and you can insert it like so. Notice that I can't break, now that these two are solved, I can't break these up. So if these were split up in any way, for example like such, I'd have to make sure I'm using an empty slot in order to move them. So I have to use this slot. I can't lift this slot up that's solved and then do that, because I'm breaking up this pair here. So I would have to either rotate the cube or sort of do that, whatever. You'll find your own ways as you go along your solving journey. So those are your two basic ones. Your last one, I'll just set up quickly. There we are. Is when your corner piece has the white face, or your bottom colour, facing up. This is my favourite one to use. So what you do is you have your edge piece, you find your edge piece, you find your corner piece. You need to make sure that your edge and your corner are separated, like in all of the others. You don't have to line them up in a particular orientation. It's okay if your corner piece is here, for example. But you line up right side to right side, so orange orange. You don't want to line it up orange green. So you do orange orange, and then you lift the empty slot up into the top layer, moving this down behind you, and that allows you to pair up this. You can then restore it, so the whole cube is back to its original, all the pieces in their proper places, and this is paired up. And then you can either insert with a sledgehammer, or you could insert just normally, whatever. Those are your three basic scenarios. So you've got your catapult, your opposites, your different colours that you can insert like so. You've got your white piece at the top that you have to line up, and you've got your pieces that are the same colour on top, and they can be, again, you don't need to line them up so that they're on opposite sides of the cube or anything. You just need to pair them together like normally. And then, so that's all done intuitively. There's no algorithms to that. That's just working out, okay, if I move this piece here, where will it go? Once you've moved on from that, you can look at some other videos. There are loads of other great cubing YouTubers out there that have some nice videos on easy algorithms that you can use for F2L. And then obviously you can combine that with your OLL and PLL. So I hope that's helped people, or at least help people understand what F2L is, how to use it. I hope this video was clear in some way. If you've got any questions, just leave a comment in the description. I'll be sure to answer it as quickly as I can. I'm almost always on YouTube, so expect to reply quite quickly. Thanks for watching, and goodbye. Woo! Peter Capaldi fell down. Let's put him back there.